This weekend, the latest Mortal Kombat film debuted on HBO Max and in theaters. So today I'm going to stop and rank all 4 Mortal Kombat films from the worst to the best. Hi, my name is Sean, and I started this channel because I was driving everyone around me crazy talking about movies way too much. If you can relate, you're probably in the right place and consider clicking that subscribe button. With that in mind, go ahead and join me down below in the comments section. Share your ranking of the Mortal Kombat films. My list isn't the right list, it's just my list, and I would love to see yours. With that said, let's get started. Easily coming in last place is Mortal Kombat Annihilation, one of the least competently made big studio films I have ever seen. To call it amateurish would be an insult to the countless Mortal Kombat fan films that made a much better product on a tiny fraction of the budget. Every single thing about this movie is bad.
Oh, this is bad. This is really, really bad.
The basic premise of the film involves Shao Kahn cheating, undermining all of the victories of the previous film, killing many of the cast members of the previous film, and making it so you can't care about a single victory in this film if you just know the bad guys can just cheat and win.
What a story, Mark.
As soon as this movie starts, you know you're in for a ride because the visual effects, special effects, green screen effects are unbelievably bad immediately. All throughout the film, the shot selection that they choose, bizarre. The fight choreography just involves people like flipping and spinning all around constantly. The costumes look like goofy cosplay, and there is absolutely no effort made to disguise the stunt doubles. There's this one sequence where Raiden is flipping around and he's supposed to be played by James Remar, and you keep looking at his face and you go, wait, I recognize that guy. That's Ray Park. That's Darth Maul, not James Remar. Now, there's definitely some so bad it's good qualities about this film where if you watch this with a group of your obnoxious friends, you will have a good time because this movie from beginning to end is shockingly awful. In third place, Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's Revenge. To be entirely clear, there is a huge gap between Annihilation and Scorpion's Revenge. I would recommend you check out Scorpion's Revenge if you're a Mortal Kombat fan. This is an animated film that came out last year, and it is a bloody good time in both the British and the literal sense. Awesome! The whole movie is just unbelievable, over-the-top graphic violence of people just being sliced into pieces and like you see their insides fall down. It knows what the audience wants and it just delivers it in spades to the audience. Another fun thing about this animated film is it has Joel McHale playing Johnny Cage, and he's just so good at playing this douchey actor that ends up in this tournament kind of by accident. And so if you're in the mood for just absolute mayhem, you should check this one out. Now, I mean, it has its flaws. All these kind of Warner Brother animation films, they're like hour and 15 minutes, hour and 20 minutes. So this tries to cram a lot of story into a very short runtime, a lot of characters into a short runtime, a lot of origin stories into a short runtime. And it felt like they were trying to avoid the tournament, which is a recurring theme in the Mortal Kombat films. And so like as soon as it starts, then people are like teleported across the island and have to walk back, and there's armies showing up that they have to fight. And it's fun to see them just tear these guys to shreds, but I would rather just see the Mortal Kombat tournament in a Mortal Kombat film. So I had a lot of fun with this one. It's not one I'm as likely to rewatch though. Our runner-up, Mortal Kombat 2021, an R-rated live-action Mortal Kombat film benefiting from 21st century special effects, which allows them to just do some absolutely gnarly, visceral violence and fatalities on the big screen, which is just amazing that that's something that's able to exist. Much like the previous film, they know Mortal Kombat film fans want to see a bunch of bloody mayhem from beginning to end, and this movie delivers all of that for the audience. They give this rich mythology about the history of this tournament, set of characters that are chosen to battle and how they train to prepare, the rules, the cheaters, all of this fun stuff to kind of give you this lived-in universe. But it's also a film that I wanted to like it even more than I did, but it's just very uneven on some very important things. First off, the characterizations. Some of them, you got Kano cranked up to 11, just doing the snarky one-liner charm, and then others kind of felt a little bit more like a plank of wood. And I just thought it was odd that they chose to invent a new character to be the lead of a Mortal Kombat film.
Wow, that was weird.
And the other thing that held this one back for me is that inherently the story here is a prequel to the movie that I really want to see. In fact, the producers have said that the first movie is the pre-tournament, second movie will be the tournament if they get to make it, and the third movie will be the post-tournament if they get to do it. But that meant this whole movie was them talking about this tournament, putting people being chosen for the tournament, training for the tournament, and then the credits roll.
Not a great plan.
And so for me, I got to the end of it and I just had that limitation on my satisfaction because I didn't get the thing that I really wanted to see because I love tournament fighter movies. And that's what makes this movie so frustrating because I had a lot of fun with so many elements of this film, and then it was just held back by some of those odd choices they made. But coming in first place is Mortal Kombat 1995, a campy piece of 90s fun. To me, this is a total Taco Bell film. It's cinematic fast food that it's not great cinema, it's not high art, but it delivers the entertainment value that it's supposed to. It's also a Mortal Kombat film that's focused on the tournament itself, where they show up for the tournament, they have matches, and then all the classic lines are delivered when there's a flawless victory, a fatality. It's said in the context of the tournament itself, all leading to the victory at the end that we want to see, with Liu Kang fulfilling his destiny and avenging his brother. Certainly, it's a product of its time. The CGI, unbelievably dated, but I actually think the Goro effects still look really good. I think Goro 95 looks better than Goro 2021, though he can't move nearly as much. And surprisingly, the PG-13 rating doesn't hamper it quite as much as you'd think. They find little ways to deliver what you want without having to cross over into the R rating. So they still manage to have a sequence where Scorpion rips his mask off and he's just a skull head there puking fire out. You get that stuff while it's still in that PG-13 rating. Now, certainly, I understand that this movie has many flaws, but I think it just kind of has a certain 90s nostalgia charm to it that, in that sense, especially if you grew up with it, it is still a delightful, entertaining film. Delightful. What an odd word choice I went with right there. But a delightful film nonetheless, that every time I watch it, it puts a big grin on my face despite all of its flaws and not having the buckets of blood that I wish it did have. Still one of my favorite video game movies of all time, so it comes in at number 1. If you enjoyed this video, check out that top 10 list over there where I offer my top 10 favorite video games of all time. Thank you so much for watching, and keep talking movies too much.